Hello and welcome to Let's Get Teddy Turnable, and we are interviewing Ninja Mack. Introduce yourself.
Yo, wrestling world, this is Ninja Mack. Y'all wanting to make bets today? How's everything going? Young sir, you doing good today? Good. You keeping up your training? Okay.
I did it this morning.
What'd you do? What'd you do for training?
I pretended I was wrestling in a tag match, and I was Danhausen and you, but Danhausen doesn't. Wait, I think he used to go to wrestling Revolver. Yeah, I
You
think.
did.
Yeah,
Danhausen.
so it was,
Danhausen's the man. I got to meet him a couple times.
yeah, so it was you and him with a tag
Ooh.
team with Orange Cassidy and Dan the dad. Yeah,
Oh, so it's me and Danhausen versus Orange Cassidy and Dan the Dad. Oh, we might have to tweet that out to PWR and see if they'll book that match. It sounds like a crazy match.
I was basically you and Danhausen.
Okay, that's a good tag team. Danhausen's the man. I hope I can keep up with him. He's pretty popular. But he's a good tag team to have. Who won the match?
You and Danhausen.
Yeah, big bets.
You did flips and everything.
Oh, ninja stuff. It's what I do.
How did you get your name?
Ninja Mac. Growing up, I liked a lot of ninja stuff. And before wrestling, I used to do so much ninja stuff. I really thought I was a ninja at first. And then I got the chance to get into a wrestling ring. And people thought I was way cooler when I put on my Ninja Mac mask. And so that's where the idea of the ninja came from. And Mac happens to be very close to my last name, Mac. So real easy to decide on Ninja Mac. Too many ninjas in the world. You gotta isolate the name.
Why did you want to be a pro wrestler?
I wrestled growing up. I came from a family of wrestlers, amateur wrestlers. I fell into some sports that got me to love the entertainment business. And I love WWF and WCW way before your young days, maybe your parents' days when they used to watch. And I fell in love with wrestling when I was able to watch those guys really wrestle and capture the world. So to wrestle and to be entertaining at the same time, it's the perfect combination, and it's something I enjoy to do.
What's your craziest match ever?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, you know, one of my favorites and craziest, I would have to say, is my debut match at Pro Wrestling Noah. I believe it was last year in April. It was a three-way versus me, Dragon Bane, and Alpha Wolf. And that was my debut match for Pro Wrestling Noah. And that match was one of the best three-way matches I've seen, been a part of, and probably one of the craziest matches I was able to do. So if you ever get a chance, check out that three-way match. Me, Dragon Bane, Alpha Wolf for Pro Wrestling Nova.
They usually call three-way matches at WWE a triple threat match.
Yes, triple threat. That's a good way.
Why do you wear a mask?
I'm very straightforward with business, and one, not to hide my identity because I do take my mask on and off in the States, but it's kind of like battle gear. It gets you ready for your battles, and when I look out into the crowd and I see a lot of people wearing the Ninja Mac mask, I hope they're inspired and coming down and always back to business. Wrestlers make business, and masks are good business. Also, I grew up in Texas, and there's a lot of luchadors and a lot of Mexican wrestle, and they like to wear a lot of masks. And I got to wrestle a lot of luchadors, so maybe the luchador world kind of rubbed off on me because I do like the mask.
Do you know Rey Mysterio?
I've got the chance to meet Rey Mysterio one time. I want to say this was back at Martinez Entertainment in Dallas, Texas. He was obviously the major star, which he still is, one of the greatest, if not the greatest high flyer of all time. Ray was doing the show at Martinez in Dallas. I don't know if it was Halloween or Thanksgiving time. This was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and he was phenomenal. Great guy. Um, Obviously one of the best in the ring, so able to watch his match in person was something great. One day, if I ever get the chance and lucky enough, before he gets too old and retires, I'd love to wrestle Ray.
Who's your favorite wrestlers now?
Ooh, Marufuji, in Pro Wrestling Noah. He's always been a big favorite of mine, and I did cherish the opportunity to be able to work with him in the ring, which has been great. Favorite wrestlers right now, like I said, Marufuji, that's in Japan. You in Mexico, you got Psycho Clown is such a phenomenal wrestler for AAA in Mexico, and all those luchadors down in AAA, CMLL, they're all such great athletes. It's hard to pick one. And then, man, you got so many wrestlers over in Europe and even in America. Let's say WWE. I think one of my favorite wrestlers still has to be Roman Reigns. He's the champion. He's been consistent. So Roman Reigns is a good pick, one of my favorites.
Me too, and they just got Jay back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that whole storyline, that whole thing they're doing, that's crazy. That's a lot to keep up with.
Why did you want to be a high flyer?
Uh, I try and keep myself to my matches with the best of my abilities, and I happen to high fly really well. And being a smaller guy, high flying helps me get a little bit better of an advantage on the big guys. So it's something I'm really good at. I love to wrestle. I love to high fly. I love to do crazy stuff. But I think to win a match in the wrestling world, you got to do what you're best at. And I just happen to be the best at high flying right now.
Have you ever fighted a luchador?
Yes, many luchadors. One of
What
my
was the
favorite
first
matches
luchador have you
was,
fought?
I don't know, do you know Aris the Strange? I believe he worked with MLW recently. He does a lot of the GCW shows. Me and Aris had a very good match in Los Angeles. Um, like Luch, my favorite match was the Noah match, the three-way we talked about earlier. That was against Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane. Those are two luchadors. 2 weeks ago in Noah for the New Japan Junior Festival, we had one of the luchadors from CMLL, and to be able to watch all those luchadors from CMLL over in Japan, they have so many good wrestlers that I would love to wrestle. But I've wrestled a good handful of luchadors, so it's very hard to name all of them.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Ooh, Velociraptor, always on the attack, always on the hunt, very quick.
What's the craziest thing have you ever done in a match?
When you say crazy, do you trying to beat someone up crazy or get the fan reaction crazy? Because I think me and Mike Speedball in Los Angeles, he beat me up and I fell about 25 feet to the floor. So that was pretty crazy, but I wasn't on the good side of that one. But there was another show down in Houston, a lucha show, and we had the crowd so wild up and so crazy, and I was being such a bad guy. I had them throwing trash, throwing beer bottles and chairs at me to get out the ring. So and that was pretty crazy to have 500 people throwing stuff at you to leave. So there's been a couple crazy moments. In Germany, I jumped off a 30-foot balcony. I don't know why I did that, but it was pretty crazy at the moment.
Who was your favorite wrestler when you were a kid?
Man, yeah, you're asking tough questions. I'd have to give it to let's go Rey Mysterio. Growing up, he was the greatest high flyer that you could ever see. He got you into wrestling. He's still doing it, so it wasn't just a fluke early on that he got lucky. The guy's been one of the greatest for the longest of all time.
What was your first title match?
First title match, it was a vacant title for WXW in Germany. So the match was between two or four people off the top of my head, but there wasn't a champion before. It was a vacant title. And then the next match I actually won when I won the belt was for Noah, the junior heavyweight championship against Ayata. And that was October 30th last year.
When did you first start to wrestle?
I joined wrestling 2015 at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling.
Have you ever wrestled Kushida?
No, I have not, but that'd be a phenomenal opportunity to wrestle Kushida. Man, that guy is off the wall. And to get a chance to even be brought up with him would be something special to me.
What was your favorite match in WCW when you were a kid?
I mean, the NWO coming in was such a great time. If I had to specify one match, um, Halloween Havoc, maybe Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. I could be mixing those dates up, but I mean, they did so many great matches.
My favorite was Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell versus Mankind.
Oh, that was a big, crazy match. They did some crazy stuff in that match.
And Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, Stone Cold and The Rock. I have lots of favorites.
Oh, nice.
When did you first start to wrestle at Wrestling Revolver?
Ooh, that was that already over a year ago? So what are we now? 23 in February. So maybe maybe October or November of 2021 or early of last year, 2022. But it's within this last year and a half.
What is it like to wrestle all over the world?
It's humbling because when you get to wrestle in front of so many different groups of people in the world, from Japanese over to Germany to the UK down to Mexico and even in the United States and Canada, every crowd and every set of people are just a little bit different. And it's humbling because you get to meet so many people. Everyone's so diverse. This crowd likes this stuff. This crowd likes that stuff. So you have to be able to adjust to each crowd and be able to pull things off that you can't just settle for the same crowd each time. Are you gonna wrestle? Are you gonna wrestle when you get older across the world? Are you
I've
gonna
been
just wrestle in the
wrestling
United States?
a
Have
lot.
you been have you been thinking about a wrestling name so far?
I've already got mine.
What's the wrestling name? What you got?
Electric Skull.
Electric Skull? You're gonna come out with electricity flying out?
No, I'm gonna come out with a skull mask.
Nice. And have you picked a wrestling song you want to use for when you come out? Some,
No.
it's all right. You got time. You got time to think. So think
But
of a good
let's
song that
start
goes
with
with.
the lights coming, like shutting off, and then like the song happens while the lights are still off.
Hey, there you go. So you're already getting ideas. You got to get them going. Do your ninja training. Have your ideas ready, and you'll be a great wrestler when you get old enough.
What's your favorite food?
Sushi.
My mom likes sushi.
Oh yeah, sushi's so good. And it only got better when I got to go to Japan this last year.
I kind of want to start eating sushi now. My my favorite food's chicken nuggets.
Nice. What do you get them from McDonald's or Burger King or Whataburger or the Dino Nuggets from the store?
Yeah,
What
I've
kind of
got
nuggets?
nuggets a few times. Those are really good.
Yes, they are. What do you like to use? You like to use ketchup or mustard when you have your nuggets?
Ketchup.
There you go. Good choice. Ketchup's a good choice.
When I have mustard, it burns in the mouth.
Yeah, mustard's a little tougher. Yeah, you'll learn to like it when you're older sometimes.
How often do you wrestle?
Uh, wrestle like have matches or wrestle like practice?
Like wrestle practice.
I wrestle every day. I'm in a wrestling ring every day. If I can, sometimes even I'll wrestle twice a day rather than just go work out and wrestle. But I try and be in the wrestling ring every day.
I stopped I stopped wrestling when I was 4, and then I still didn't wrestle when I was 5, and then
What do you mean? You got to wrestle your mom and dad. You should be wrestling them all day.
uh
Never give your mom and dad a break. Make sure you wrestle them when they're tired. You wrestle them when it's dinner time. That's how you become the greatest wrestler. You wrestle your
I
dad
wrestle my
all
dad
day.
all the time.
Good. Right after this, you should go beat him up.
I
Yeah.
will.
All right. Ninja bet. I approve that.
Do you have anything else that you want to say?
If you haven't done so and you're watching this show, go subscribe, like to this channel, go subscribe, like to Ninja Mac. That's how we get our following, guys. We appreciate y'all tuning in. And if you haven't pressed that subscribe, like, share button, leave a comment down below. Do all of it for us. We appreciate all of you. Thank you and big bets.
Thank you very much. Have a
I
great day.
appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for checking out the show.